Effective October 1st, 2012, the City of Rowlett will raise water and sewer rates $11.95 per customer per month. For most residential customers, this will increase your monthly utility bill by about 9%. Refuse and drainage fees will remain flat. There are 3 reasons for this increase. The City of Rowlett must increase its capital maintenance funding in order to maintain our water and sewer system. Zebra mussels are a federally designated invasive species and have infested Lake Texoma, which is 28% of the North Texas Municipal Water District's water supply. The 3rd reason, wastewater treatment costs are increasing by the City of Garland. So you may be asking yourself, why is my water bill going up to pay for system maintenance? As seen in this chart, over the next 3 years, water and sewer rates are going to increase. Rowlett will raise its rates $8.65 per month to generate an additional $2 million in annual capital maintenance. Years of limited funding for maintenance and droughts have created a worst-case scenario for our water and sewer pipelines, sewer lift stations, water pump stations, and other related equipment and infrastructure. Geography causes the city to have an unusually high number of sewer lift stations to pump water uphill to be treated by the City of Garland's sewer treatment plant. The variability of the water volume and slope from its lowest level to its highest level causes sewer gases to collect and erode the metals and joint materials of Rowlett's sewer lift stations, sewer pipelines, and manholes.
Hi, I'm Jim Proci. I'm the Director of Public Works for the City of Rowlett. And today we're going to be talking about the state of the utility system, and we're going to go over some of the components. As you can see in this clip, this is a large water valve that had failed. When we removed the stem to see why the valve would not open, it was clearly broken. In looking at the valve, it's clear that it was not exercised. This is the reason for the failure. We have 4,000 valves in the water distribution system. It is integral to the longevity of this system to exercise these valves and repair or replace those which are found in disrepair. Asbestos cement pipe accounts for about 4 miles of pipe in our distribution system. In this clip, you can see circumferential cracking. This is common failure in our conditions as a result of the soils which have plastic properties. This means they expand and contract depending upon the moisture levels in the soils. Due to the rigid nature of cement-based pipe, this soil movement causes these failures frequently. During the summer of 2011, we encountered 34 failures on one street. These failures are directly attributed to the drought conditions and the active soils. In this clip, staff revealed a corroded ductile iron pipe that had countless repair clamps along one section of pipe. This was a result of many repairs over the years, placing band-aids on a pipe that clearly needed to be replaced when no other repair options were readily available. The acidities in the soil will degrade the ductile iron pipe over time, which was evident in this circumstance.
Hello, my name is Tim Rogers. I'm the Utility Operations Manager. In this clip, you can see the difficulty that is encountered when a hydrant fails and has to be replaced. This is a difficult process, but necessary as hydrants are an important part of the system for fire protection. In the event of a failure of a hydrant, homes may be at risk, so we need to ensure the proper maintenance is continuous and ongoing. We have about 2,000 fire hydrants in the City of Rowlett. Service lines present equal challenges. In these clips, you can see failures occur at the curb stop, defined as the service shutoff valve, and at the main line. These occur frequently and require immediate attention. Water loss is always a primary concern, as is service to our customers. Every drop of water lost is a valuable resource. These types of failures are frequent and are time-consuming to repair. They are often caused by soil conditions and material degradation. We have over 19,000 water service connections.
Hi, I'm Jake Gilliland. I'm a utilities crew leader for the City of Rowlett. In these next clips, you can see the inside of a live clay pipe and see the repair in progress. What we have identified in this section of pipe are a couple of issues. pipe separation as a result of soil conditions, blockages due to separation of service and main line, and a broken service line. Clay tile is susceptible to cracking, leaking, root intrusion, and groundwater infiltration. These conditions are found routinely in our system and often cause maintenance problems. We have over 24 miles of clay pipe in our collection system, and much of it is in poor and aging condition. The West Side Lift Station is a major facility in the collection system. This lift station processes almost 67% of the city's effluent. The overhead crane and screening wall recently had to be removed and dismantled due to its failure. The failure of this system was attributed to poor construction techniques, soil conditions, and lack of maintenance. We have 26 lift stations with varying degrees of issues, including overhead crane issues, aging pumps, wet well deterioration, obsolete systems, and safety concerns with regard to confined space entry. Only 3 lift stations have permanent backup power. We have 1 portable generator for the remaining stations. 4 stations have dry well systems, which require confined space entry in order to service or repair the pumps. This technology, while effective, is obsolete with regard to worker safety. Industry standard is to remove these from the collection system.
As you can see from the various clips, these are just a snapshot of a number of issues that we've had to deal with. Back in March, the City Council held a special work session where these issues were discussed in greater detail. I encourage you to view that meeting, which was held on March 29, 2012, on our website at rowlett.com.
The Rowlett utility system consists of water and sewer systems and has a combined value of $342 million. The water system is valued at $186 million and contains 252 miles of pipe, which is the distance from Rowlett to Houston. 58% of this pipe is greater than 20 years old. The sewer system is valued at $156 million and contains 234 miles of pipe, which is the distance from Rowlett to San Marcos. 51% of this pipe is greater than 20 years old. Our system is aging and is accelerating in its decline due to back-to-back droughts and deferred maintenance. Currently, $550,000 is budgeted annually to maintain the system, or roughly 1.6% of its value. Operational changes have been made to generate an additional $250,000 annually in maintenance. However, analysis indicates that the city needs to be spending roughly $2.8 million annually on maintenance alone. Increasing the maintenance program will cost Rowlett customers $8.65 per month and will raise $2 million annually.
We've got a $300 million plus system in the ground, and we're not spending nearly enough to maintain that system. The further we defer, the more we defer, the more it's going to cost us in the long term.
But just as we have to spend money as homeowners to maintain our property, the city has to spend money on maintenance to maintain the infrastructure. And as a citizen, I expect every morning whenever I wake up for my water to run and my toilets to flush. And in order to continue to do that, we have got to do essential maintenance, and will cost more money, and that's why the rates have to go up.
The drought that we had last summer caused some unprecedented damages to our system with ground shift, soil expansion.
I like what Chris Kilgore says. He says it's either now or later. Now is later. We can't go any further. We've got to fix our utility system.
The North Texas Municipal Water District provides water to 1.6 million customers in North Texas, including Rowlett residents, and will be increasing their rates by 14%, which will result in a $3.05 per month increase next year. This cost will be passed on to our customers.
We have lost 28% of our supply, which is from Lake Texoma, which is the result of an invasive species known as the zebra mussel being found there. And just a little background on them to begin with. Zebra mussels are not native to North America. They're native to Europe and to Russia specifically. And they were brought into the U.S., into the Great Lakes in 1988. And they were believed to be brought in through a Russian freighter that discharged its ballast water into the Great Lakes, and it had with zebra mussels in it. The zebra mussels have migrated now all the way through the eastern part of the U.S., down the Mississippi River all the way to the Gulf Coast. And up until just a few years ago, the experts for zebra mussels were saying that those utilities and reservoirs and things in the south would not have to deal with zebra mussels, simply because all the data that they had was showing that they couldn't survive in the warm waters that we have down here during the summer months. Well, what in fact has happened is the zebra mussels have adapted, and they do or are able to survive in the waters that we use now, like Lake Lavon and Lake Texoma. From an environmental perspective, they remove and filter the water that's in the lake, and that upsets the fishery or other species that are in the lake, removing the food sources for those other fish. From a water utility standpoint, they can clog pipelines, clog intakes, clog screens, and they become a very maintenance intensive, to the tune of millions of dollars a year, just to prevent them from coming in. The zebra mussels that have been moved so far have been transported primarily down a natural watercourse or by a trailered boat. And that's how they probably reached Lake Texoma, because in our situation, we are the first agency in the U.S. that anyone has found that has been stopped or prohibited from pumping water and transferring it through a pipeline. So we have a conduit going from the Red River Basin into the Trinity River Basin, and what the federal agencies are trying to do is minimize the impact to the environment into the Trinity River Basin by moving that water and just dumping it into the Trinity River Basin, where they would then probably survive and end up all the way down to the Gulf Coast in the Trinity Basin. There are some federal laws in place that prohibit the transfer of a zebra mussel or invasive species across state lines. Our pump station sits barely in Oklahoma, and so therefore this federal act takes place and prohibits us from transferring that water from Lake Texoma into Lake Lavon.
Construction of a $300 million pipeline is required in order to access this much-needed source of water and to comply with the federal statutes related to the invasive species. The new pipeline currently under construction will pump water from Texoma to a blending facility currently under construction at the North Texas Municipal Water District facilities located in Wiley in order to address the zebra mussel issue. It will take approximately 18 months to design the pipeline, acquire rights of way, and build the pipeline. The goal is to have the new pipeline online November 2013. The third reason, wastewater treatment costs are increasing by the City of Garland. The City of Garland treats the wastewater for Rowlett customers and will be increasing their rates by 2.5%, which will result in a 25-cent per month increase next year. This increase will also be passed to our customers. The City of Garland anticipates future annual increases to pay for system improvements. The costs, as noted on the City of Rowlett utility rate comparison chart for fiscal year 2014 and 2015, are projected increases based on capital improvements the City of Garland has included in the long-range plan, which will result in rate increases to their customers. These rate increases will be passed along through increases in the sewer rates.
My name is Brian Funderburk. I'm the Assistant City Manager for the City of Rowlett. So why doesn't Rowlett buy water from another source? Rowlett is locked into a contract with the North Texas Municipal Water District until 2024. Because of this agreement, even if Rowlett was able to enter into a contract with the next nearest source, the City of Dallas, for example, Rowlett would still have to pay its share of the cost of the North Texas Municipal Water District, even if we don't use a drop of water. This amount will be nearly $5.6 million in 2013. And why is Rowlett increasing the monthly base rate rather than the volume or the usage rate? There are three reasons why we're doing this. First, by our contract with North Texas Municipal Water District, the City of Rowlett is required to buy 3.2 billion gallons a year, but we only sell about 80% of what is required to buy in an average year. The second reason is that Rowlett is 95% residential. Therefore, Rowlett has a very consistent average use by customer. And the third reason is that the city will remain in water restrictions until the end of fiscal year 2013. This further reduces the ability to recover the cost through the volume rate. So why do we have some of the highest water rates in the Metroplex? In 2003, the City of Rowlett's rates were just over the median average when compared to other North Texas municipalities. However, Rowlett now ranks among the highest in the Metroplex, and there have been several factors that have driven the rates this high. In the 3-year period between fiscal years 2004 and 2006, the city issued $37.5 million in revenue bonds. This more than doubled the amount of annual debt service payments the city was paying. The city purchases its water from the North Texas Municipal Water District and has its wastewater treated by the City of Garland. Between these two entities, they have passed on increases of over 9% per year, growing from an annual budget of $4.4 million in 2004 to $8 million in 2012. The third thing is that the city treats the utility fund like other franchises in Rowlett, such as Encore and Atmos. This results in transfers to the general fund for similar type franchise payments based on established formulas. As water and sewer rates have increased over the past 9 years, so have the transfers to the general fund. In addition, the utility fund also makes transfers to the Cash Capital Improvements Fund. Combined, all transfers have grown from $3.8 million in 2004 to $6 million in 2012. The breakdown of residential versus commercial customers is an interesting one for Rowlett. The City of Rowlett is primarily a residential community as reflected in the customer breakdown for water and sewer, which is 95% residential and only 5% commercial, industrial, and other. This means that there is virtually no flexibility to shift costs to commercial as some cities can do. As the following chart and table reflects, every city is different and therefore has the ability to meet rate challenges and opportunities differently.
I think it's telling that 3 years ago when I was part of a bond committee that the city had, the #1 priority that came out of that bond committee was to use money for maintenance. Obviously you don't want to use bond money for maintenance, but it was interesting and very, very telling that the bond committee, made up of citizens, thought that we need maintenance money because we hadn't had maintenance money prior to that.
Well, none of us want to pay higher utility rates. And many citizens, like my husband and I, live on Social Security and on retirement savings. Other families have to stretch every dollar to make ends meet. So we realize the impact that the raising of utility rates has on our citizens. But the most important responsibilities of a city include the delivery of water and sewer services to its citizens.
Hi, I'm Mayor Todd Gottel. In closing, I want to reiterate again, the Council understands and appreciates that our economic times continue to be challenging. We have deliberated this issue over a period of months and have not reached our decision lightly. However, it is no longer prudent to postpone increasing rates in hopes that the system does not get any worse. At this time, that would not be fiscally prudent. As the video clearly showed, our water is one of our most valuable resources. We must protect it and make the appropriate investments, not only in Rowlett and not only in North Texas area as we continue to grow in population. The drought, advancement of zebra mussels, and lack of investment over the years has caused North Texas Municipal Water District to revisit how they manage and maintain their systems that supply water to our region. In our city, Rowlett, we must do the same, and we must make the appropriate investments in our system as well. We cannot continue to operate our systems without preventive annual maintenance. In order to be sustainable, we must make the necessary investments. I don't like increases as much as the next person, but at this point we have no choice. This is our community, and we deserve the peace of mind that's necessary for reliability.